My life will never be the same. Fast speed videos. I just taught my kid. I might regret that. But hey. I was thinking earlier, after I just kind of stopped laughing and was just thinking how really life is what we make of it, and what we put out, we get back. And like the power of our imagination, how strong it is to create our reality. And you know, I'm gonna say it again. You know, to perceive the YouTube and the 1,000 subscribers and not being able to go live, but to see what it can do in the background of people actually starting to encourage each other instead of just limiting how many people they subscribe to, or just wanting to subscribe just to help someone out to get more subscribers. What a beautiful thing that is. And you know, when I pop into people that I watch and the people that are actually choosing to you know, shout out people when they didn't before. And before, if they didn't, it was because, you know, you go, you make your video and you do what you channel to do. And, you know, you're thinking of what you need to do. But how, you know, by opening your mind up to, okay, I'm channeling this, but I'm going to kind of promote other people to have the help they need to get those 1,000 subscriptions. And you know, what a nice circle that is. Excuse me. And also, I remember when I was talking to D, Gregory Clark 00, one time when he said, I really wish I could make a video with music in it, but I can't because it'll get pulled. And I said, well, mine don't. I put videos on the side of myself like all the time, and none of my videos have been flagged or pulled, and I don't believe that they will. And I also have the belief that, like, let's say it does get flagged and pulled, that there was another reason for it. Like, I really don't perpetuate within myself the thought of they and the darkness and negativity, or just the bad things. I turn it around. I really like do. You know, and also maybe some of the people that were going live really easily, they're finding within their routine that it's easier to record a video and upload it, and that they're maybe the quality time of their video is maybe more intense. You know, that there's reasons behind everything. And if you want to think it's a bad reason and think that they are against us, you know, that's what you're going to get back. You know what I mean? In the sense that if you start to look at something that's really yucky and turn it into a positive thing, how much easier it is. Like a hardcore, huge example, someone with cancer. The people that I know that have gone through the battles, and even if their soul chose at the end that they were not going to pull through, and that they were going to, you know, go through to the other side, and they were going to die, basically, they did it with joy. They made people happy. They didn't try to make, you know, like, nurses' life hell. They didn't throw like fucking bedpans at nurses. If anything, the nurses also, you know, and doctors would also be very compassionate with the family because they had had a great, beautiful experience with that person. I don't know. It's like road rage. This one time in 2009, I went to see my best friend from high school, Jen. And the two things that stood out to her were, first of all, that I was like such a morning person that I would bounce out of bed and then I would be like all like, And she'd be like, "You are so fucking annoying." On the second day, I was like, "What?" And she's like, "You're so fucking annoying. Could you let me get my coffee before you start fucking yapping? Like, you're like Mary fucking Sunshine on crack. Like, shut up." And I was like, "Okay." So I shut up. And then we'd be in the car driving for her to get her coffee, and she'd be all like, and fucking swearing at people. And I'd be like, "Is this how you spend your days?" And she'd be like, "What do you mean?" Meanwhile, she still hasn't had her coffee. And this is the second day. I was like, "Dude, like, you're already fucking pissed at the whole fucking world, and you haven't even gotten your coffee yet. Like, holy fuck, like, what's it like when you get to work?" And she's like, "Well, usually by the time I get to work, I've had to have my coffee, and, people at work calm me down." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I just kind of shut up again, because, it was funny, though, because she went to work that day, and then I had her car, and I was, like, doing whatever it is that I did. I think I had lunch with Danny that day, my boy bestie best friend. And, after work, she's like, "I kind of thought about what you said today." And I was like, "Okay." I thought she was going to hit me or something. But she's like, "You're right. I never really looked at it that way, where I start my morning, I get out of bed, and I grumble, and I like, till I get my coffee. And then even before I've had my coffee, I'm angry because of the traffic. And by the time I get to work, I'm angry. And that's not who I am and who I want to be." Anyways, again, long story short, on the third day we got up, I kind of shut up, and she's like, "You can talk if you want to." And I was like, "Really?" And she's like, "Yeah." So I was like, and just kind of saying stuff, and it's like, you don't have to answer back. And honestly, like, it's because I haven't seen you in like 15 fucking years, Jen. Like, I'm trying to fucking pack up all the fucking Jenness that I can. I don't know when I'll see you again, so of course I'm gonna wake up and be all like, and by the fourth day, she was like, "It's really fun to wake up happy." And she was driving to work, and like she said, like, why was I so mad all the time? Like, and that's what I was trying to explain to her on that first day. I was like, "Do you realize, like, you're cutting people off, you're swearing at the people who cut you off, and we're all getting there at the same time." Like, I was actually showing her to what point, like, we were on the Skyway Bridge in Burlington towards Hamilton, and I was showing her, I was like, "Dude, all those people, and like, we're all here, right here. It's a fucking 4 lane, and we're all in the same fucking spot. But depending on how you got to this spot, you're either fucking on top of a bridge, like fucking pissed, or you're on the bridge, like fucking going like, wow, it's really pretty around here." Because that was the thing that pissed her off too. On the first couple days, she was like, "You're so fucking overjoyed with everything." And I would be like, "Dude, it's fucking February. Where I come from, everything is frozen. There are no fucking birds. We don't have like fucking like seagulls. You guys have the geese. You have this, you have that." I was like, "There's fucking boats on the water. You have open water." I was like, like, just like, everything's like a fucking miracle when you're coming from like fucking northern Quebec, where I lived at the time. It's like, you have to understand, like, I could be another 2 to 3 months without seeing this where I am. And I'm like, wow. Plus, I haven't been to Burlington in whatever amount of time it had been. So I was in awe of everything that had grown up and been built. I was like, is there anything left from when we were kids? Like, is there anything that's not developed yet from all those fields we used to, like, fucking, get stoned at one end and then fucking like cross the field and think we'd done a labyrinth, or gone through a fucking like going on a lion hunt, and everything was so different. And I remember like her seeing it through my eyes made her appreciate where she was, because like, don't you even love it here anymore? Don't you even see the beauty in it anymore? Like, what the fuck are you doing here if you don't? And my aunt too, I remember she lived in Niagara Falls, and I was like, "Oh my God, you're so lucky. Like, how often do you guys go to the falls?" And she's like, "I haven't been to the falls in 2 years." And I was like, "What? Like, what the fuck?" And she's like, "Oh, there's like tourists everywhere, and there's so many people, and it's really hard to find a parking spot, and blah, 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 blah." Like, she had a fucking hundred excuses for not going to the falls. I was like, "You don't even come like at, when it's the lights time? and you don't even come like when, you know, there's fucking free shows and you know, she's looking at me like I was a fucking freak. But a year later, my aunt tells me, she's like, you know, because of what you said to me, I started going to the falls and really realizing that the beauty of the falls, the energy of that water, yes, it's really touristy. It is. I'm not a big fan of tourist areas either. And as an empath, I'm not a big fan of crowds. But I can go to Niagara Falls and be like fucking in the middle of like, people could actually be fucking touching me because we're banging into each other because there's that many people. And I have programmed myself. I want to be there so much. And I don't get there often enough that I don't care. I really don't fucking care. And that's the thing too, is like I said, is like, you're a local, like you don't have to come right when there's like 100 million people coming from everywhere in the world. And that's what I would tell her too, is like, don't you even realize, like even if you don't speak to anybody, every fucking human that you see here comes from somewhere else in the world to see this place. Like some of these people have saved for like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or it's their bucket list thing. It's like the last fucking wish that they've got is I got to get to Niagara Falls before I die. Or it's that we go back every year because we got married here. Like it's like the energy of a tourist place, if you turn it around, and instead of thinking like, oh my God, there's humans everywhere, but if you think of the reason why tourists are there and you turn it around, it's like freaking amazing. And when you actually talk to people and then they tell you their story of why they're somewhere and those background stories, how like holy fucking amazing they are. Yeah, I'm a fucking weirdo. But I just find it very much easier to find a way to look at something positively that's to my advantage than to sit there and think like YouTube's against me. And even in one of my videos, the one that like I don't edit or do anything, fuck, I didn't even know there was a speed button for sound, and listening to a video until today. Like, I'm gonna remember this day forever. I don't edit anything, and one of my videos, if you look at when I looked at my videos and what I have as videos, it stops exactly at the spot, and that's the spot that kind of announces my video. I guess it would be a thumbnail, but I didn't insert one. It just kind of happens to be at the spot where the bookmarker is on the tree that says anything is possible if you just believe. So my mentality is that there's YouTube angels like putting that there to make that nicer. Do I also think my YouTube angels like to have me in a like kind of face sometimes when they stop the video and decide to thumbnail that? Sure. Oh well, fuck it. What can I do? It's really not a big deal. If I wanted to learn to edit, I would. Maybe when I grow up, I will. I don't know. Sometimes just like pressing play and remembering to press play is already like a celebration type of day for me. So yeah, today when I went into my laundry, I told myself I'm not going to have any problems with the machine. My laundry is going to do itself properly. I'm not going to forget, because sometimes I forget to push in the little change thing, and then I get there and the money's still there and I have to restart. And yeah, I've done that before. So today I forgot absolutely nothing. No machines popped open, and when I got there, everything was dry the first time, and I actually had 10 minutes left on one machine. And when a couple that was there, I was all proud that everything happened perfectly, and they're like, that kind of stuff never happens to us. I was like, that's because there's two of you. You're really lucky. Like, you got each other's backs. I was like, if I forget to fucking look and I haven't pressed on something, it's not happening. And I was like, there's even time left on the dryer. I was like, hurry up and get in there and put your stuff in there while you can. Like, there's like 10 or 15 minutes left. And yeah, so my laundry's at home. It is unknown if it will get folded and put away ever. I do know that if I want to sleep in my own bed, I have to make my bed because I wash my sheets. that's not even sure that I'm going to need my bed, because really sleeping on the couch has a really nice view, especially if the moon is out, which probably won't be. But, well, it'll be out, but we won't be able to see it because we're supposed to get snow. But yeah, do I need to make my bed? No, I don't need to. I could maybe sleep on the couch, sleep over. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. So this one time, I tie-dyed my bed sheets. Yep, I love to tie-dye. And I got the idea to tie-dye my bed sheets. So I spent a lot of time putting elastics on them. Anybody who's ever tie-dyed, that's kind of the physically one of the parts that you got to do is put the elastics. And then I was so sick of putting elastics around like fucking queen sheets, and like I think I got like 8 to 10 pillowcases. Might as well make your bed a nest. And yeah, so when I started to tie-dye, from the time I put the equipment out to the time that I finished, it took me 3 hours. And I was really proud of myself because I hate shopping. Yes, I'll run into a thrift shop if something's meant for me. I see it on the wall, I grab it, put it against myself. Yes, it fits. Once in a while, I'll go into the dressing room. But otherwise, I hate shopping. And basically guided to go into stores because I don't really need more dresses. It's just a treat. So I tie-dyed my bed sheets. And I remember when I was like, you know, if you tie-dye, you gotta like really rinse, and then you gotta squeeze stuff. I don't know what the front English word is for it. You gotta squeeze your stuff and get the like the juice, the colors out. And I was thinking as I was doing that, like, you know, first of all, how we don't realize as a society what our ancestors, and when I say ancestors, we're talking depending on what type of life people have led, 50. Oh my God, I'm getting a text. Somebody's fucking texting me. What the fuck? It's a big deal. I would get up and check, but I'm not going right now. And yeah, I was thinking how our ancestors, and depending on what type of luxuries that our, you know, latest family, even our grandmothers, and parents even, had in their life, that some people like everybody hand washed before, and what a luxury it is to have the washer and dryer, and how, you know, we don't even think about it anymore. And that's what I enjoy about having, like I said, poor me, I had to downsize, but I never saw it that way because it just makes me even more aware of how much laundry I do and what actually needs to be washed versus what can be, you know, like if you just throw a towel on the floor, it's going to get all smelly. But if you hang it where there's a heat source in the winter, especially, how long a towel lasts, it smells good. It's not a big deal. Anyways, I'm babbling on. Now I'm picturing somebody listening to this at like size 2 or rate 2, whatever the light up speed of, like, you know, times 2, listening to me talk. I think that I already talk fast when I'm happy and excited. So I think I might listen to myself at 2 just to, like, you know. Yeah, I think I'm done. I really do believe life is our perspective. And yeah, I'm going to get serious for a minute. I didn't get this way by having a rosy path. I got this way by going through things that were so fucking surreally fucking scary that it is only my imagination that pulled me out of what I had and was going through. And by using my imagination and by the power of my thoughts, I changed the timelines of what other people or persons were trying to do to me. And one of the things is that one of the reasons I don't talk about myself a lot is that because you perpetuate other people's feelings of what they think, and then that can change your reality. And one of the things that I'm not going to focus on a lot, but I'm going to say straight up, is that a solid 10 years of being harassed, bullied, belittled on social media, threatened, to the point where police were involved, how you can change a timeline even if someone is an aggressor and wants to physically hurt you or emotionally fuck you up, you can change that timeline by not believing in it. You really can. You can be stalked and people or someone is watching you from across the street, and if you choose not to act on it and start to be paranoid and start to, if you pretend shit is not happening, it stops happening. And I know that can sound like, what? But really, if you don't validate someone else's perception of what they want as a timeline, that timeline cannot be pulled in. That's kind of deep if you've never really delved into your own life and what you've actually created and what other people that you followed, the flow of other people, so you don't realize to what point you control your life yet, maybe. But it is about what we create, what we think of. So the more that we think we are in a nightmare situation, the stronger, the more powerful the nightmare gets. And sometimes, yeah, we do have to go through imagine that on high speed. Oh my God. Sometimes we do have to go through certain situations, but we control how long it lasts. We really do. That being said, there's something to learn from, PTSD, from having anxiety, from having had panic attacks. For me, as an empath and as a strong intuitive person, 3/4 of the stuff, well, all of the stuff that I lived that was like in a fucked up manner, of the things I didn't even know could exist for my reality, were in the last 10 years, and I consciously chose to live them because I didn't understand them. And that's, again, following when I say in other videos, pull yourself the fuck out of a situation and get the bird's eye view. Why am I going through this? What have I done to, not what have I done to deserve this? Poor, poor, pitiful me. And it's what's going on, and what can I surrender, or how can I change it without even trying to control it? I don't even know if I'm making sense, because it's like, I know I am, but I don't know if I'm saying it in a way that can make somebody be like, click, aha, I get it. For me, I think I've had 3 pity parties in the last 7 days. And really, one month of a party, like, first of all, I didn't even get snacks. There was no hats. And I didn't even have time to get the blowhorn out. But that I fell into this feeling of poor, poor, pitiful me. Holy shit, somebody really wants to talk to me. I'm like, my crickets are cricketing. Probably YouTube saying, like, you've been banned from YouTube. Joking. Yeah. They're this big compared to, like, how big they can be. And they are for me to see something from a different perspective, because I'm like looking like this with my blinders instead of like this, and letting what I need come to me. Come to me. Yeah. I don't know. I went from just one thing to another, so I'm done.